Welcome back, Team Natural. For this style, you are going to need some of these comb thingies. Yeah, like that. Just, with all the teeth. Like that one. And those are for keeping your parts clean and your hair sectioned. And the products I'm going to be using for this style: the Shea Moisture Hold and Shine Moisture Mist, Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie, as well as my own mixture of oils. There's a bunch of stuff in there: lavender, olive oil, sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, bunch of stuff. I use it on my skin too. I have my brush and my rat tail comb. We're not using the teeth in this comb because it'll rip out your hair. We're just using the rat tail end. We're going to start to part. And I'm really picky about how I part my hair, so you'll probably see me going over the same part like 3 or 4 times just until I'm happy with how the part looks, making sure it's at the right angle, making sure that it's a clean part, stuff like that. And once I'm happy with the part that I've made, I'll take one of the combs and hold the hair in place. And then you do the same thing across the back to make a nice clean part, to make a box. Once your section's all done, you can begin to part your hair. You're starting from the focal point and fanning out. Once you're satisfied with your part, you twist up the remainder and pin it in place. You can take this opportunity to finger detangle your hair to make it easier to braid later. And we're going to start the LOC method to moisturize the hair, beginning with L, which is liquid or leave-in. And the Shea Moisture Hold and Shine Moisture Mist is my liquid. Spray in the hair, run it through. Make sure you get all the strands. All your hair needs to be properly moisturized. And then you move on to your oil, which is that mixture of lavender, jojoba, olive oil, all that good stuff. Pretty much every oil I had, I put into that bottle, and I love it, and it smells like lavender. I can use it on my skin and in my hair. And here I'm just going to brush my hair out again, starting at the end and working your way up to the roots. Just to get the hair nice and smooth. Make sure all those tangles are out before you braid. Now we add the cream, which is the Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie. And you apply that just like you applied the oil. And you don't need too much. And this cream is going to seal in all the moisture that we just put into the hair. And then once you braid it up into the hair, it's going to be so great, so nice and soft when you unbraid it. Once you get to the end of the braid, you're going to twist it up into a little Bantu knot, and then move on to the next section. At this point, you have the option of having either 1 or 2 focal points in your hair. For this video, I'm going to have 2 focal points, so my hair will be divided into 3 different sections. But I'll show a picture at the end of the video of what it would look like with just 1 focal point. At this point, you're just trying to mirror the other side with your braids. Once you get the middle portion sections, you can divide it however you want. You can have the braids going straight back or going from one of the focal points. Generally, when I have it sectioned into 3 sections, I'll pick one of the focal points, one of the 2 sides, and part from there. If you're going to do the asymmetrical look like I'm going to do with the 3 parts, you're going to have to leave some of the braids undone so that you can connect them to another braid, like this one. Once you're finally done braiding the front, you can start working on the back. Since I'm doing this at night, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to put Bantu knots in the back, individual Bantu knots, so that I can make sure that all my hair is moisturized. You don't have to do Bantu knots. They take quite a while to do just because the hair is so short, so you have to have smaller sections. But if you don't want to do Bantu knots, you can always do a braid out in the back, just larger chunky braids. I would usually do 4 or 5 braids and then just take them out in the morning. The Bantu knots will make your hair more curly, but the braids will leave your hair more wavy. It's more of a stretched look when you have braids in the back. But for the sake of moisturizing, Bantu knots are much more effective in my opinion. And here I'm just showing you how to twist up the section that you're not using so it's out of your way. By the time you're done, your neck will probably be killing you, but your hair will be nice and moisturized, and all you have to do is spray it and wrap it up at night. up in the morning, your braids will look nice and fresh. You can put some oil on your fingertips and begin to unravel all your Bantu knots. All you're doing is untwisting them and maybe finger detangling just a little bit. This video was recorded right after I did the ACV video, so this was about 3 months after my big chop, and you can really see the growth that's already happening, just 3 months after chopping off all my hair. I'd rather not use rubber bands in my hair, so I use bobby pins instead to secure the ends of my braids. I usually only do Bantu knots the first night after I wash. After that, I usually do braid outs because they're more convenient to do right before bed. This is a braid out. This is also a braid out. This one is how I usually wear it if I'm going to school or to work, and I'll have a knit cap on. That's one side of the spectrum. That's when I chose to do the braids all the way across the head instead of having the 2 focal points. And I call this one the hair headband. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment and subscribe. Leave me questions, comments, requests, all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram at Ebony7209, and remember, we are always happy to be nappy.